Hi friends, Lee from Purposeful Living. I am just working on some sort of schedule to get these videos out. I want them centered around 144 hertz. So I've been posting, the last one I post at 144, which 144 hertz is related to spiritual order. And when we are disconnected from a spiritual practice, when we do not have connection to source, to God, to higher self, we are not in any sort of spiritual order and the world is in chaos. So I'm going to do my best. I may not do these every day. And then one of my clients said, instead of doing, a minute and 44 seconds, because that's too fast for me. I can't do that. She said, why not do 14.4 seconds or 14 minutes and 4 seconds? So I'm working the little bugs out with that. But I will post these videos at 1:44 Pacific time. And I'm not sure which days work better. Obviously, I can't do them every single day. So I might do them something like Monday, Wednesday, Sunday, or something like that. I don't have it figured out yet, but I hope you will follow along. And let's get to it for today. So I wanted to talk about, I'm in Reno, Nevada with Purposeful Living Healing Center. And I want to talk about the people. I've had this business for 13 years. I'd like to talk about some people that come to see me. So this week, 2 times a woman came to see me from Wyoming. And she actually celebrated her birthday with me, and she turned 78 in my building. And so she wanted to see me again before she went back to Wyoming. And she was my background is everything to do with aging. So I'm basically a gerontologist, social worker / healer / medicine woman. And I don't say those things lightly, because they come with a lot of wisdom and a lot of education over these 53 years. Let's take a breath together. So ready? Maybe a little tapping here on the collarbone. Let's take a breath. Ready? Breathe in. Out. Good. Good. So this woman celebrated her 78th birthday with me. And she came in and I said, how's it going today? Turning 78. And she said, I have a lot of sciatica pain. It starts from back here, right above my hip or in my hip, and moves all the way down my leg. I said, what's the number? Because so many people come to see me for pain. There's so many people that come to see me for pain. So every day we're talking about what their pain level is with their number. And she said her pain level was 6. And I said, well, let's do something to bring it down to a 1 or a 2 before you have to get back on the plane and head out to Wyoming. And so I got her on the table, and I actually used some St. John's wort oil that's made by Mythic Medicine in Nevada City, California. So we put some from her top of her hip on her back, throughout her bum, down her leg, down into her foot. And then I had her start breathing. And every time I saw her shoulders start doing this, I reminded her to bring her shoulders down and connect with the breath, very deep breaths. And that just tells your nervous system, hey, it's time to relax. It's okay. I am safe. I am safe. And so then I added sound. And I know you're just getting to know me on this YouTube channel, but I do a lot of drumming. And the drum that I have, I wish I had it with me, but you can find me with lots of pictures of that. The drum that I have is a Native American on the front, and he looks so much like my grandfather. My grandfather was 100% Cherokee, and his mom was a medicine woman here in the United States in the South. And she had that practice in the late 1800s. and she got her own horse and buggy, and she decided to put my grandfather up for adoption so she could go and do her medicine work. And she traveled all through the South. And anytime she heard of someone that was sick or in pain, she would go to them with her horse and buggy and all her medicine. And learning this a little bit later in life, when I was 40, I thought, oh my gosh, I feel like this person that I never even knew, moves through me. So I used my grandpa drum. Everybody calls it my grandpa drum. And the grandpa drum is from a place in Moldova called Nazar drums. And they're in Moldova. And you can find them on Etsy if you're looking for drums. And that drum is so special. I've been using it for years, and it's vegan. And if you don't know yet, I am vegan. I went vegetarian in 2011 and became vegan, ethical vegan in 2014. So I've been vegan for quite a while. And so I just wanted to share, once I used that drum, and it's a whole process of using that drum around the person, on top of the person, on the sides of the person, and just not thinking about it. So it's almost like when you're doing the drumming, it's almost like your hands making love to this instrument. It's an act of love and service and healing. And so I use that drum almost every day. And for me, it removes other people's energies that are attached to the body. So I usually always start off with some sort of smoke to kind of clear the energy around the person. But then I use that drum to remove any negativity that they've picked up, maybe from watching television, watching a movie, the news, things going on in the world, arguments that they've had with people, just anything to bring their system back into their system, that it's their nervous system, that it's not taken up by everybody else's energy. So the drumming is strictly to remove energy that is not yours, including pain, off of the body. Next, I use other vibrations just that are guided to me. So I very much listen to my intuition. I'm always listening to my intuition. What does this person need? What does this person need? And while I'm doing this, I'm also guiding this person to breathe, to connect with their nervous system. Maybe they're overthinking, so I have them connect to a color. So if we're working with the heart, I have them focus on green. And so I have this metal instrument. It's called the wave, and it puts out vibrations on each end. So on one end is for the heart, and one end is for the root, which is in the pelvis. And so I'm moving that energy back and forth. The root, the strength of our being, root chakra, that strength up into the heart. And then I'm sending that heart energy into our root for very much open and love. And just moving this energy, also doing energy work on this person, having them do breath, maybe using another sacred smoke from Nepal, whatever I am called to or asked to do for this person. And when she was complete, I also use hot stones from our river here, Truckee River. I have a lot of flat, hard stones. Of course, they're hard stones. They're stones. They're rocks. So I have a lot of those that I keep in a cooker with water. And sometimes I put oil in there like clary sage or rosemary. And so the person usually has all their clothes on. They usually have a blanket on, and just placing those warm, hot rocks and sometimes a rice pad where I feel the body really needs to relax a little more and connect a little more. Long story short, we're not at 14 minutes, but that's okay. Long story short, when this person sat up, I asked her how she felt, and she says, I have no pain. I have no pain. And I said, well, it was a 6. What is it now? And she sat there, and this happens with every person I work with. They're sitting there and they're like, I know I should come up with a number of where I feel what I feel, but I can't even conjure up a feeling in the area where I was feeling pain. Why? Because we ask the nervous system and the body and the spirit to come back into the body, realize it's safe, realize it's being connected to source or your higher self, which is basically the same thing. And all of a sudden, that pain is no more. I also do this for distant healing sessions. I did this for someone, I've done it for 2 people in Las Vegas. Like I said, I live in Reno, which is about 8 hours from Vegas. And people are usually in the hospital and it's not working because we're all hooked up to beeps, and IVs and all those things. And I'm not saying they're not important, but where is the connection to source? Where is the connection to clarity in the mind? So I'm gonna do my best to post this video, and then the video after this, my client did a little, what do we want to call it, review, or she gave a little bit of how she was feeling, feedback. She gave feedback. So if you're watching this video, hopefully the next one will be the video of Trudy, who is 78 years old, talking about how she went from a pain level of 6 to a pain level of 0, just from my healing practice. Thank you for watching this. I hope you subscribe. Thank you for listening. I hope it brings a little more joy and clarity to your day, everyone. Thank you, thank you, thank you for being here. Much love. Namaste.